A Tim McGraw and Jonah Hill production, texting films to you before cell phones. Dang it, Tim, cover your mouth. Sniffles and Sneezes, rejected Muppet characters. Health and safety for you! Yeah. So what's this short about again? Oh, right.
The symptoms are quite familiar, and very likely you'll come up with a correct diagnosis.
Diarrhea.
Yes, it looks like a cold.
Geez, Jimmy, say it, don't spray it.
Runny nose, headache, achiness, very often a slight fever. Those are some of the symptoms of the common cold. Well, how do we get into that unhappy state?
Cooties.
We have colds simply because of cold, because of ice, snow, and low temperature?
Because
No.
people never get
Funny
sick
thing
in the
about
summertime.
colds, where it is coldest, the inhabitants hardly ever get colds. Explorers tell us that Eskimos are cold-free, unless they come in contact with visitors from outside their frozen world.
Such as explorers.
Then if it is not just cold
The
weather,
lamest sled
what
hill
is it
ever.
that causes so many of us to catch colds?
Will not be an Eskimo for one.
Scientists think that most colds are caused
Oh,
by
that's right,
extremely
influenza.
small
Take it off, take it
microorganisms
off.
called viruses.
Here's one now.
Viruses, and there are many different kinds of them,
Well, there's
can be
four.
scattered with each particle of saliva and mucus.
Fluffer and
When one
Fluckatash.
sneezes or coughs, for instance.
Whoa, how much cocaine
Do
did
not
she
think
have
for
up
a
her
moment
nose?
that cold-producing viruses are spread only by sneezing and coughing.
Fire breathers hate her.
If by some magic the tiny particles
Oh, the
of
things
saliva
those
and
hands
mucus
will do.
could be made visible as a black smudge,
Arr, Jack
we
Sparrow,
quickly
you
would
be having the
realize
black
in how
spot,
many other
arr.
ways we are apt to scatter bacteria and viruses all around us.
Arr.
For instance, Jane here has a cold.
She also likes to overact.
Look at that smudge.
Well, she's coughing
Look at
up
those
blood,
germs
Dave.
she leaves on the doorknob. And here's Bob's hand picking them up.
Bob knew what he was
Bob,
doing.
his hand now covered with germs picked up from that doorknob, transfers them to a book. Sue, having the bad habit of wetting her finger to turn pages, carries the germs from the book to her mouth,
But they're delicious.
and then passes them along with a pencil to Anne.
Ew, oh, whatever. That's some 90-degree angle writing there.
Anne carries them home and leaves them on the family's dinner table.
Anne never washes her hands.
Yes, even during an ordinary conversation, saliva and mucus
This is when
particles
students
escape
flashing
our
each
mouth
other in the hall
and
meant
easily
something
reach others
completely
who
different.
inhale them as they breathe. Just remember how breath becomes visible
Jeff
on a
uses
cold
his
day.
mace breath to reject
How then,
Sarah.
with so many germs surrounding us, can we avoid having colds all the time?
Well, the answer is you can't.
Well, fortunately, our body has defenses against this
Nasal
enemy.
cavity militia!
Normally, we breathe through our nose.
You hear that, mouth
The
breathers?
nose, as well as the sinuses,
You've got way more holes in your head than you
the
realize.
eustachian tubes, and the throat are lined with a delicate membrane.
No, you are.
If, under a microscope, you look at the lining of the nose, we call it the nasal membrane.
Insane in
You
the
can see that it
membrane.
is covered with tiny moving threads. These are called cilia.
You're silly.
They move back and forth like stalks of grain when a wind blows over a field.
Well, that makes trimming your nose hair seem
The
weird.
cilia are covered with a warm, moist, sticky substance called mucus.
Mucus.
The
Ew.
nose usually secretes about a quart of this liquid every 24 hours.
Aw, don't say secretes quarts.
This mucus, by warming and moistening the air we breathe in,
Moist
prepares it
secretions.
for our lungs. The mucus also catches and destroys microorganisms, that is,
for
bacteria and viruses.
Christmas.
The movement of the cilia
Tee-hee.
carries the mucus down to the pharynx,
Where it's protected
Then
by
it is
naked
coughed out
Greek men.
or swallowed into the stomach, where any remaining microorganisms are destroyed by the digestive
Yeah,
juices.
you heard him say swallowed.
If these defenses are weakened, the cold virus will gain a foothold and cause the inflammations which so often are associated with the common cold.
Represented here in a barbed wire
The common
font.
cold is not a serious sickness.
You can just laugh it off.
But still, medical science as yet has not found a cure for it.
We could try glassing the Jersey Shore.
Ah, yes, there are remedies galore.
Like whippets.
All sorts of medications, which soothe pain and headaches.
Yeah, Mom,
and so
neti
bring
pot.
some relief. However, they do not cure cold.
That's for your fairy godmother.
And no matter how convincingly they may be advertised,
Fight colds and
do
communism.
not use them without having checked with your doctor.
Children love this cough syrup. It's made from poppies.
But there is a sound prescription.
Homeschooling.
If you have a cold, don't stay in school. Because if you do, you may send others home with your cold.
I don't know what's cooler, that he can teleport people, or that his nose makes that funny sound. Miss Miller, Jimmy sneezed again. Yes, I heard him, Ralph. Put your hand down.
Stay home.
Beam me up, Scotty.
Stay in bed. This is the prescription which common sense and medical science recommend. Medicine.
Tissue medicine.
But only those your doctor prescribes.
Only blow your nose
No
by
others.
prescription.
Warmth, rest, which you can get best when you stay in bed. And while you're there, you might as well make the best of it.
Kids, make a note of this. This is before Nintendo and PlayStation were invented. Book reading wasn't a punishment. That was it. How many layers does he have?
Right. Use tissues instead of handkerchiefs. That way you'll
Whoa,
dispose
paper
of the
bag got
germs
full
much
real
better
fast.
than when you blow them into a handkerchief. However, should you not feel better in a couple of days, or if you keep on having a fever, you should ask your parents to call a doctor.
Self-diagnosis
You see,
existed
what
before
you think is a
WebMD.
simple cold could really be the first symptoms
Doodly
of some
doodly
other
doodly doodly.
disease, such as measles,
You talking the measles?
infantile paralysis,
Huh?
diphtheria,
No, you are.
whooping cough,
Whoop, 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 whoop.
scarlet fever,
That's my favorite X-Man.
influenza,
That's Italian.
and others.
Like acute viral rhinopharyngitis.
However, even if your illness proves to be only a simple cold, it is still important that you take care of it.
Yo, you needs to
A
take
cold
care
which
of
is
it.
not treated
Whoa, film
might
reversal,
very well
check it
back
out.
up along the mucous membrane and so invade the sinuses.
Well, they are
the
shaped like
cavities in
Poland.
the bones of the face and the skull. Or the infection may reach the middle ears when it invades the eustachian tubes, which connect the middle ears with the throat.
Yo, that would be a mistake.
Frequently, the inflammation also travels down the respiratory tract to the pharynx, the larynx,
The tiddlywinks.
and the trachea.
Oh, I meant the
Your
trachea.
throat feels sore, and your voice is husky.
You're becoming a
Travels
man.
to the bronchi.
Where we store the
You have
broccoli.
a bad cough.
You watch The Big Bang Theory.
And occasionally even to the lungs.
Oh, bro, do you even
And
breathe?
that is pneumonia. These are painful complications.
She never kept the
and they
same
often
address.
take a long time to clear up. The best defense against the common cold and all these other diseases
Is money.
is to keep up the body's natural resistance.
With gray
To
food.
do so, you must eat regularly.
Geez,
and
kid, you want some
well-balanced
salad with
meals.
that tomato?
That is, meat, vegetables, fruit, milk, and so on.
And peaches and heavy
Get
syrup.
lots of exercise and fresh air.
Get your skirt caught
but
in
do
the
not
chain.
exhaust yourself. In cold weather, you must wear sensible clothing to provide proper warmth to remain healthy.
Now to find me a jukebox to smack. Hey!
Go to bed at a reasonable hour.
That's not a bed.
While
That's a
you grow,
refurbished
you
crib.
need about 10 hours of sleep each night.
So he goes to sleep at 8 p.m.?
Sleep recharges the body's energy.
This boy takes D batteries.
Protect yourself against infection.
Protect me, Squire!
Keep pencils and other things out of your
But
mouth.
why do they make lead taste so
Never
good?
take bites of other people's food.
That's about as close to kissing he's ever gonna get.
Do not use somebody else's drinking straw or glass. Not even within your own family.
Toothbrush glass
In the
roulette.
bathroom, for instance, use only your
Did I have the
glass.
dark gray glass or the light gray glass?
And wash your hands frequently and thoroughly, especially before eating.
Don't forget to dip your hands
When you
back
wash
in the
your
dirty
hands,
water.
You wash away many of the disease-carrying smudges you may have picked up.
Maybe consider wearing rubber gloves.
But if in spite of all these precautions, you still come down with a cold, let us repeat.
So he was on the radio
it
the
to
whole
bed.
time?
And stay there until it has run its course. This is the safest way to regain your health and to return as quickly as possible to work, to fun, and to play.
Work, fun, and play may vary by person. Fun not valid in New Jersey or Utah. Work may vary in West Virginia. Void where prohibited. So one's from the University of Minnesota and the other is from San Jose State, but by a strange coincidence, she's the frigid one. Brought to you by the Tug McGraw Faith Hill Book Company, Incorporated. All rights reserved. Reminding you to never text and film.